Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Rhyme of the Times for the weekend in 7th of February 2026. Andy and Mandy in the frame as the Epstein files bring shame and blame to many with wealth and acclaim to fame, and the media takes aim with intent to fan flames, seeing them all as fair game. In the Commons, Starmer's claim sounds pretty lame. Much acclaim for a great name of the snooker game. TV sport may never again be the same. At the end of last week, the bombshell exploded. 3 million documents publicly uploaded. Grainy celluloid profiles of men with smug smiles in the piles and piles of the Epstein files. Those men now don't smile, but just utter a denial, muttering sorry for just knowing the paedophile. And this week the media every day compiled news stories and angles that went on for miles, sifting through the evidence to get a handle on the scandals of Mountbatten, Windsor and Mandelson. And so this saga that clearly has far to go turned this week into the Andy and Mandy show. The Duke of York and the Prince of Darkness facing the music and a world of starkness. The starkness of their chickens coming home to roost, nearly 7 years since Epstein had himself noosed. For Andrew, the starkness of no hiding place from the justice that he may soon have to face, because although his innocence he is maintaining, some of the images need some explaining. So it may soon be the starkness of being accused and the starkness of no longer being excused. And Charles is showing no mercy, standing firm, sensing an existential threat to the firm. On Monday, to show the issue would no more be dodged, he finally ejected Andy from the Royal Lodge. Peter Mandelson is a completely different case. He has very different questions to face. Regarding young females, Mandelson is gay, so presumably he wasn't bothered in that way. Not fussed about getting his wicked way, as they say. No, it's other stuff done with Epstein that seems not okay. Like allegedly giving inside info away when he was business secretary back in the day. He's going to be in trouble, but he's also managed to turn the PM into collateral damage. Kia's choice to hire a guy with so much baggage as US ambassador is now being savaged. The logic was Mandy and Trump speak the same language, but last September Starmer had him banished. When the drip release of the files began and the brown stuff for the first time hit the fan. Now the question for Sakir that he has to answer, why did he take a chance on the Chancellor? Why appoint him ambassador to the US despite a CV that was dogged with dodginess? That is certainly what Badenoch wanted to know. At PMQs on Wednesday, she had a right go. Then suddenly the Commons hubbub stopped, and a pin could have been heard if it had dropped. As the PM admitted, he had indeed been aware that Mandelson had stayed friends with Epstein, even after he'd been sent to prison to do crime for his despicable child-harming crimes. Keir, it seems, when he made the appointment, thought this wasn't even a fly in the ointment. At the dispatch box, he wasn't cutting much ice, pleading that he'd been deceived by Pete's lies. Sakir looked embarrassed and embattled. The whole messy business had him quite rattled. It seems the risks were overlooked because Mandy knew how to knock the likes of Trump bandy. Starmer claimed Pete's lies had conspired to get him hired. As soon as he knew it transpired, he had him fired. Now the Prime Minister was sorry, as he admitted a huge error of judgment had been committed. He vowed that details of the process would, perforce, be released for everyone to see in due course. But the consensus of many of his backbenchers was this day for Starmer had been quite portentous. Next day he tried to rebuild some unity, speaking about funding local communities. But no one present was listening, it seemed, to his talk about Labour's pride in place scheme. He must have felt his time he was wasting. It was more like a battle for him in Hastings. The whole experience was pretty chastening, as the media at the end gave him a pasting. Not a single word about his presentation, just more Mandelson-focused interrogation. Then late in the night, to avoid the press scrummage, the police raided 2 of Mandy's homes for a rummage through his drawers and to take his devices as the Mandelson affair turned into a crisis. It seems they were searching these properties of his to prove guilt for misconduct in public office. John Virgo was a deadpan, downbeat Mancunian, a man of the people, a man of the Union. By all accounts, a solid bloke in many ways, and a smooth operator on the green bays, back in those heady post-black and white days when snooker became a national craze. Back in those times he played the game fine, a UK champion in 1979, and then later some say he was even greater as a TV broadcaster and commentator, bringing snooker to audiences far and wide until Wednesday, when at 79 he died. The Six Nations rugby that started on Thursday on ITV for the first time showed ads during play. In America it has been like that for many a day. So with this year's Soccer World Cup in the USA, this may prepare football fans for what's coming their way. It may fill free-to-view fans with dread and dismay, because this may soon be the price that all sports fans will pay.